Happy holidays. I wish you guys all a Merry Christmas this week. Welcome to the Stocks with Josh show. I'm on the road. I'm out spending time with my kids and my family. I'm not going to be in my usual studio. Some of my shows are going to be in my car, maybe the airport or a hotel, but I am committed to staying connected with you guys. I will keep trading through the holidays. We'll do it together. Guys, let's talk about where the markets are headed. In my last video, I told you guys, markets do not go straight down. We have clearly broken down, but I was expecting a back test back up to 3,900. I think that we may get as low as 3,790 today or tomorrow, and then we may see a green candle day pushing us back up to back test 3,900. That's what I'm keeping my eye out for. The markets could begin to build momentum and go down. That's very possible, but that is what I'm looking for the market to validate the current move. Remember, the markets do not move in a straight line. They do not go straight down. And for those who are trading the short ETFs, the SPXS and the SQQQ with me, I'm getting still the question, where should I get in? Where should I add? The simplest explanation of a good entry is if you didn't get in at the target entry that I had been sharing on this page for about 4 weeks straight, which was below $40, then the next place that you're wanting to add is the rejection of the 3,900. But it also would be a good idea to add on any green candle day moving forward, because overall we're trading the bigger trend, which I'm still viewing as a move down. I'm going to cover the overall market a bit more at the end of this video. I'm also going to touch on some news stories today. I'm going to be talking about some popular stocks and crypto today, and I have to touch on Elon Musk, Twitter, and Tesla again, because Tesla and Apple are actually really important companies. They both have an impact on the sentiment of the markets. A lot of money is wrapped up in those two companies, and so when they begin to fall, it'll get everybody's attention. So we're going to talk briefly about what I see happening there. I'm also going to explain the difference between a technical recession and a fundamental recession. If you're part of the family, I just want to thank you in advance for already hitting the like. Much love to you guys. If you're new to this page, then go ahead and make sure that you are subscribed. If you need some help understanding these markets, go ahead and check that and hit the notification bell. Go ahead and join the Stock Josh fam. All right, this weekend, Elon came out with a Twitter poll that read, "Should I step down as the head of Twitter?" And he also went on to say, "I will abide by the results of this poll." And after 17.5 million votes over a short period of time, the poll results are in. Twitter voters said that he should step down. Guys, I just want us to take a step back, and I'm going to share my opinion about what this is all about. Listen, he was never going to remain in the CEO position of Twitter. He was always, for his financial responsibilities to the other companies that he has invested in and to his investors, he was always going to need to appoint a Twitter CEO. In my opinion, this was simply a PR stunt. It was meant to spin Elon in a positive light to show that he has a fiduciary responsibility to his investors and to his shareholders, that he's mindful of them, and that he's willing to make decisions that are prudent. I think that's how the market's going to interpret it, and I think ultimately it's going to lead to a potential pop in Tesla. Right now we're sitting at $152, and I think that we could easily, on this news and on the news of him hiring someone to manage Twitter and a couple spin articles that would follow up about him focusing on Tesla, will bring the price back up to backtest Tesla, that 167 range. So I would say that if you want to trade this news story, this could potentially be a nice call from where we're at right now to a little bit of a run back up on Tesla once he appoints a CEO of Twitter and begins to sort of point out to the market that he's going to refocus his attention on what his big company is, which is Tesla. He also followed up with a remark by one of his followers that said, "Hey, I would love to step in and be the CEO of Twitter." And he made a comment about, well, just as long as you're willing to work endless hours in a company that is borderline in bankruptcy. So I think that it's another very strategic move for him to protect himself financially, to protect his image. You know, he's definitely gotten pretty far out on that limb, as I had said just in my last video, that he had been positioning himself as the champion of free speech. You know, a lot of controversial stuff, and at the end of the day, I do believe that he is a smart businessman with very smart people surrounding him and advising him, and putting a layer of management in at Twitter is going to remove some of the liability. He's been attacked by a lot of politicians who've been focusing their attack on Twitter, saying one man should not have the power to control, you know, these dynamics of speech in the US. Pulling himself out of that puts a layer of insulation between him and those attacks and Twitter. He has to protect the money that he just invested into Twitter, and he wants to continue to sell some of that Tesla stock, in my opinion, to raise the capital that he needs, also to cash out and remain potentially one of the richest men in the world. He's got to cash in that money. It's a strategic and smart move, and that's what I think this whole thing was about. And that's the way that I would trade the news to make some money off of what Elon's been up to. Okay, I briefly want to talk to you guys about the difference between a technical recession and a fundamental recession. The technical recession that we entered into in 2022 was when we had 2 quarters of a negative GDP. The GDP is gross domestic product. That represents all of the work that we do, the goods that we sell, totally as a nation, and it's sort of a big way of determining whether or not our economy is growing or shrinking. When it's shrinking, we enter into a technical recession. But we have not entered into a fundamental recession. When the fundamental recession hits, you're going to see all sorts of data reports coming in negative, coming in much worse than the previous months or the previous year, year over year. We have not seen that. Some months back, I did a video comparing the 2008 Great Recession to the current 2022 recession. And the fact of the matter is, at that time, all the data reports were coming in negative double digits. And currently, we've still been coming in positive double digits. And so the point I'm trying to make is that the drop that we saw in 2022, which just up to last week had only been a 20% drop, was really what you would see when you enter into the beginnings of a technical recession. And if the market begins to have much more bearish headwinds, we enter into a fundamental recession. That's when things really begin to slow up. That's when you have very bad earnings. That's when you have double-digit decreases in production and manufacturing in the US, and in housing and in rentals and in car sales. We've not seen that yet. And so at this moment, I am saying that we're looking ahead for those reports to begin to come out in the next quarter of this year. We're going to look for the confirmation of a fundamental recession. Everybody thinks that is happening. And if that is going to happen, then we absolutely have another 20 or 30% down move from where we're at today. So we want to begin to think about that and get positioned into plays that are going to make us money as the market goes down at that point. That's why I've been talking so much about the inverse ETFs that they go up in value when the markets go down. I'm also doing a lot of puts, and you're only really wanting to take long positions in a retirement account in companies that are on a great sale, because not every company is going to continue to fall all of 2022. I've talked with you guys about stocks that got to their low in June of 2022 and have not returned to that low yet. One of the trades I brought to the family is Tall Education, TAL. These guys are actually making new highs right now, pushing up against $7. It had been down at $3.50. I brought it to the family when it was around the $5 range. There are going to be companies in the first quarter of 2023 that are making new highs, not following the big trend down. It's the bigger players like Tesla and Apple, unfortunately, that are going to lead and unwind and bring the markets to a lower level. They have a big impact in the S&P 500, and as they begin to sell off, potentially, those are the ones that are going to bring the S&P 500 down, but there's going to be opportunity. So I want you guys to realize that we are just through a technical recession, barely 20% down. 2023, it may be a fundamental recession, and that would give us another 20% down, likely historically. That's what we're keeping our eye out for. Okay, let's rapid fire some stock plays. Apple broke a key line of support around 140 bucks. And since then, it's moved down to $132. Now, I think we're coming up to an area where we could bounce around 130. We're very close to it. That could potentially backtest as high as 138. The current level of 130 converges some historic lines of support, and so it's more likely to me that we would see a small bounce of recovery, but ultimately I think Apple has some more room to the downside after we continue to move in the markets ahead. Okay, and then Google, Alphabet. I think it wants to come back to $86. That's where I think we might see a small bounce on Alphabet. Ethereum, I got out of my Ethereum trade at around $13.12 for a $100 profit on each ETH. I'm looking to re-enter at $1,100 for a small bounce. Now I've paused buying Binance, BNB right now because of all the FUD and the things that are going on. I think that company is under attack, and I don't like to be investing in a company that potentially is on fire. I believe it could be a great time to buy. So if you think it's a good call, I'd love to hear from you in the comments why you're buying BNB right now. I personally am going to pause until a little bit more news flushes out on that play. We've got TCRT. That's a play that made us a ton of money in the last couple months. I think it wants to get to 50 cents, and I may restart a position. I have not bought any TCRT as of yet, but I may buy some at 50 cents. Small cap stocks are super risky. That is a small cap stock. It's a medical play. I sold my SBET today to take advantage of a tax loss. That broke down beneath 64 cents and it has not recovered. I'm going to go ahead and accept the loss on that one and keep it on my watch list and see if it recovers. I'm still holding my Verb. I'm going to hold it till the next earnings. That's my long shot play right now, my comeback story potentially. We'll see what happens with Verb. We know that in their next earnings, they need to cut costs dramatically. They need to improve revenue dramatically and see what they might be able to do with this company. I think it's a great company, but we have to see what the leadership will actually do with that company. The best entry for Alibaba right now. We've made a lot of money with Alibaba. In my mind, the best entry price is 78 bucks. That one's going to take some patience. There's some areas where it could bounce before $78, but $78 would be a great price to get back into it. I'd feel much more confident about a bounce at 78. And then another channel favorite, Norwegian Cruise Lines. We've all made some great money on Norwegian cruise lines. I see that it could bounce at $13.50. I'm not in Norwegian Cruise Lines right now, but I may again take a chance at Norwegian Cruise Lines at $13.50. Even though the markets are under pressure, we could see a bounce on that one there. Just want to wish you guys all a happy holidays. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your likes. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to receive these crypto and stock calls that I'm making. Hit the notification bell. I hope you guys have a great weekend, some restful days ahead. Peace and blessings, my friends. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.